Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso at Integral here, sharing another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about the difference between cloud syncing services and cloud backup services. Many people think that they're both the same, and they're not. There's a big difference between a syncing service and a cloud backup service. Syncing services allow you to see your files from anywhere in the world, whereas a cloud backup service makes sure that your information is protected and secure over multiple computers on the internet. If you were to get ransomware, for example, it would affect your cloud syncing service and ruin all your files, as there is no backup to cloud syncing services. As far as cloud backup services are concerned, if you were to be hit with ransomware, then all of your information would be safe and it's stored on multiple computers across the globe. We're going to switch screens like we always do, take a look at some of the cloud backup and cloud syncing services that you may be used, and help you tell the difference. Let's do that. There we are. So I've got a combination of web browsers and services that I actually use at Integral to show you the difference between them. So for example, the three cloud syncing services that you have available are OneDrive, which obviously I have an account for the business and myself. There's also a business account for Google Drive, and finally there's Dropbox. Now these services are examples of cloud syncing services. Now how do they work? It's pretty simple. Cloud syncing services allow you to store information up in the cloud, but it also synchronizes with a folder on your desktop. And how does that work? Well, let's open up a folder and I'll show you an example of how OneDrive works. And let me switch screens here. So there's OneDrive. Actually, there's my desktop file explorer in Windows. If you click on OneDrive, as you can see, it shows all of the information that's posted on OneDrive. But if you look a little further with OneDrive, let's go to local disk C and let's go to users. Once we're under users, we can go to Burton. Once we're under Burton, as you can see, there is a local version of OneDrive. And if you were to click on that, your files that are stored supposedly in the cloud with OneDrive are also stored on the cloud with OneDrive. So that's why it's called a cloud syncing service, because it synchronizes your files between your desktop computer or laptop computer or even your smart device, but also leaves a copy of those files on your desktop or laptop devices. And that's what you get when you use services like, let's switch, OneDrive, Google Drive, and did I say OneDrive? Let's go back. Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive. Those files are not totally stored in the cloud. They're stored on your desktop computer as well. That's why it's called a cloud syncing service. Now let's move on to what's considered a cloud backup service. One of my favorite utilities is actually a cloud backup service, and that utility is Carbonite. Carbonite is probably one of the best backup software programs out there. What Carbonite does, and its other programs such as Backblaze and iDrive, is that it takes the information off of your computer, or I should say a copy of that information off of your computer, and it stores it up in the cloud. Now that information stays on your computer, and true enough with Carbonite, and let's show the other ones, Carbonite, Backblaze, and iDrive, you can have that information backed up to their remote computers, and it'll keep multiple copies across the globe. That's the whole purpose of a backup. So if something catastrophic were to happen to your tech device, such as ransomware or just complete system failure, that information would be saved with an online backup service like Carbonite, Backblaze, or iDrive. Now, as far as the advantages and disadvantages, because some people are vigilant and they're thinking, you know, I think I could go and move my stuff to online syncing service. And while that may be true, it doesn't always happen. So the disadvantage of using a cloud syncing service is that your information is not automatically backed up. You have to move it to Dropbox, My Drive, or My Drive from Google Drive, or OneDrive. And most people aren't vigilant enough to move that information from their computer or device to their cloud syncing service. Now, Google has introduced Google Backup and Sync, which will automatically synchronize that information from your device to the computer. Now, the challenge with Google Backup and Sync is it's still a cloud syncing service because it's syncing information with your Google Drive folder on your desktop versus what's in the cloud. The advantage is that it's a free and easy way for you to copy files off of your device and put them somewhere else, which is the true definition of backing up. But there is no redundancy, which is the key of backup. So if you were to get hit with ransomware, or if someone got into your Google Drive account, OneDrive account, or your Dropbox account and deleted all your files, then you're out of luck. Those files are gone. Now, one of the disadvantages of your cloud backup service, and we'll switch screens here once I find it, is that your services like Carbonite, Backblaze, and iDrive cost money. So most of these services don't give you the free gigabytes that iDrive does. You can get 2 terabytes of space for $52 a year with iDrive, and you probably would get the same amount of space with Backblaze. But Carbonite gives you unlimited space. But the downside with Carbonite is the $70 a year you have to pay up front, whereas Backblaze and iDrive allow you to make monthly payments. So that's the only disadvantage. But the real advantage is that your files will be backed up nice and securely, and you don't have to worry about ever losing any data with the cloud backup service. So please remember that if you want a cloud syncing service so that you can access your files over the internet, you want to use services such as Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive. If you want your information backed up safe and secure, then use the services of Carbonite, iDrive, and Backblaze. So there you have it. As always, if you've got comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you to find out what tech tips you'd like me to cover in future videos. And speaking of videos, be sure to subscribe. And I always have to throw those hands up when I do subscribe. I don't know if I should do the little that, but be sure to subscribe to our channels at either Integral or myself, Burton Kelso, the technology expert. Both channels, as long as our social media pages, are full of tips and tricks to help you get more out of the digital life, whether it be home or business. So take care of yourself, folks, and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.